and this, I think it was quoting a therapist saying that Kate had zip tied your son to a chair in order to prevent him from being wild. Your response to that claim?
That's true. Why were you there? Because your dad said you shouldn't have been there.
You know, I came to the conclusion that everybody has their own agenda. You know, my mom had her own agenda. I don't know exactly what that was, but my agenda was to make it out on top of that tough spot.
Throwing this bear away. I'm not dealing with it. That'll teach him to get done with stuff. Your bear's going in the trash. Say goodbye to it. Yep. Kiss him goodbye. Because he can't go through the dryer anymore. Sorry.
Bears play together every morning.
Kate, myself, and Maddie and Kara, we went to the mall.
Honey, don't ramble. Like, say it in
not
5
rambling.
seconds.
Hello? John! 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 You can't leave your kids behind!
Oh man, I tell you what.
There was a lot of drama back in the day with John and Kate. I feel like we were in a whole other place in time back then. Everything was just so different. There would be tabloids, printing drama, and I mean, there wasn't YouTube videos about it and stuff like that. It was more so magazines that you would see at the checkout, and it was a huge thing what happened when the two of them split up. As somebody who watched that show when I was a kid, it's so sad to see what happened to their family now as an adult. And I do talk a lot about social media, family channels, like post their kids all over everything and like how are their kids gonna feel about that one day. And I feel like this is a really great example of that, because back when John and Kate plus 8 was like a thing and it was a huge TV show, had massive ratings, like I used to watch it, I loved that show. It was back when reality TV was extremely new. So new, in fact, that people who were on reality TV shows didn't know, I think, how toxic it could get with them sharing so much of their lives. Reality shows in this time period would show everything, including the fights in their relationship. And with that, people were able to speculate a lot on what happened, and you just kind of see their family breaking and crumbling on the screen, and you can see how it ended up where it is today. And the reason why I want to talk about this is because one of their sons by the name of Colin actually just came out and spoke for the first time. So I'm going to be talking about what he said later on in this video, but before that, I want to tell you guys a little bit about John and Kate plus 8 and what happened. Those of you that maybe don't know, because it is very interesting, and I feel like, you know, maybe some people don't know the backstory to the situation. Kate was born Katie Irene Kreider on March 28th, 1975 in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, and she married her husband, John Gosselin. John Gosselin was born Jonathan Keith Gosselin on April 1st, 1977 in Wyomissing, Pennsylvania. The two of them were married in 1999, and they both had difficulty with getting pregnant, so they got fertility treatments to help them be able to have children, and with that they had success and gave birth to their 2 twin daughters, Maddie and Kara. Because this was successful, they decided to try it again, and they were met with the surprise of a lifetime. I can't imagine how shocking it must have been when they found out that they were pregnant with not 1, not 2, not even 3, 6 babies. They were pregnant with sextuplets. Can't imagine myself trying to take care of 6 babies. How do you even pay attention to one of them fully? Like, how do you do that? So they obviously decided to keep all of their babies. This got so much media coverage that people started hearing about John and Kate, the couple that have twins that are having sextuplets now. And they got a TLC documentary special basically showing the journey of all of that. And it did so well that after the fact, TLC gave them their own show, John and Kate plus 8. It was the first time you were able to see a family like this. Oh my God, it was a wild ride, babies everywhere. It stayed so popular that they kept having more and more and more seasons come out. So you watched their children go from babies to children, and you watched them grow up on the screen, but you also watched their marriage completely crumble. I mean, it was a thing from the very beginning about how Kate Gosselin treated John, and she did treat him very badly. Like, I haven't seen this show in a long time, so this is just coming off of my memory, I remember watching it and thinking she was really mean to him. She would nag at him all the time. She was really rude. She would yell at him, snap at him. She was extremely impatient.
Just sit it down. Really, it really is necessary.
No.
But that's where usually everyone
John, they know how you weigh apples. Oh, honey.
It's okay, it's all right.
All right, I'm not talking anymore.
No.
John, are you gonna be ready someday? He takes longer to get ready than I do, and that's really irritating. John, please help me instead of playing with toys. I don't understand why you ask me. Who cares? We're done. I've been looking for you.
Go to 11.
Hello, I need your help.
Go to 11.
No, I can't. Would
Why?
you come here? Because you need to stop playing toys and come help. Stand here.
Stop
I have to go
yelling.
ahead. Hello? We're over here.
You told me to stay here.
Come. This is for going pee potty.
I'm not talking to you anymore.
Look, this is for going pee potty.
It's great.
Okay, you need to pay attention.
No.
Kate, myself, and Maddie and Kara, we went to the mall.
Honey, don't ramble. Like, say it
I'm
in
not
5
rambling.
seconds.
Could we have a Kate and John switch day where I get to stand and cross my arms?
What do you want me to do? I did all this stuff.
I've been thinking about that lately.
Put their beds on, fill all the juice cups.
Honey, we should have a role reversal day.
I know he probably hates that I'm airing his fault, but he knows it as his issue, right, honey?
Yeah, I know I have many faults.
John! The potty seat. Remember yesterday I asked for it in the white van? John! I need Kara's polka dot flip-flops.
That's why I waited in the driveway, because I didn't know what else she was going to make me go in the house for.
John! 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 Potty! You have to sit with them. It's ridiculous.
I thought you were taking them to the bathroom. They said they had to go.
No, I was just taking her.
And Hannah.
And Hannah.
Go, Hannah. Go potty.
Don't shake your head no when I ask you to sit with your kids.
You just walk off, and I'm carrying 6 kids.
John! John! You can't leave your kids behind! Oh man, I tell you what. No bikes on the sidewalk. Hey, John, can you move these picnic tables?
Just from what you could see on the screen, I would know that living in that environment, you already have all these kids, you're already stressed out, you're not sleeping, you're having to provide for this family, would be exhausting and overwhelming. But then on top of it, you have Kate Gosselin just going at you all the time. It was sad. And actually, I recently saw a clip too where Colin, who we're going to be talking about later, gave her a little figurine of a bear holding a baby bear, and her reaction to it was just so cold.
It's a mommy and a baby bear.
It's supposed to be me and you.
Oh, well, where's everybody else?
And that to me summarizes the way I remember Kate in this show. Very cold, not somebody I would want to be married to, no offense.
But we're not going to use a marker today, okay? We'll use it at home. John. Okay. Next, it's going to be on our shirt.
Well, you shouldn't have dressed them in nice outfits. It's a coloring plan.
They wear nice outfits, but we don't need to color with markers. We're not playing. No, we're not playing. What you doing, Joe?
I didn't come off of my sock.
No way!
Throwing this bear away. That'll teach him to get going and stuff. Your bear's going in the trash. Say goodbye to it. Yep. Kiss him goodbye. Sorry.
Bears play together every morning.
I mean, you saw her scream at John on this show. Whenever it was announced that they were divorcing, it was no surprise, but there was a lot of drama that was going on behind the scenes around this time. John and Kate announced on June 22nd, 2019 that they were separating. However, the two had met with Pennsylvania attorneys on the day that that episode aired to finalize the plans for the divorce rather than to separate. They also stated that their 8 children would remain in their home and the 2 of them will move back and forth to accommodate the custody agreement. And then on August 13th, 2009, police were called to the family home after the couple were engaging in a verbal fight. Kate had allegedly arrived at the home during John's scheduled time with their children, and because she didn't approve of the babysitter he was using, they started fighting about it. And it's extremely believable that something like that happened, because if you watch the show, Kate would start screaming at him over very little things, so I'm sure she would have over a babysitter.
The story was, it was John's custody, and obviously I wasn't supposed to be there, which is understandable. I learned that he had asked this babysitter to come over. He was not going to be home. And it started out very friendly. I called him and I said, if you're not going to be home, can I come home and be with the kids? I mean, I don't care if he's not going to be there. I'd rather be there. Anyone going through a divorce, when you have children involved, my opinion is both Parents should be involved in the hiring of any babysitters. These are still my children, whether I'm present or away.
After the divorce was finalized, Kate was granted ownership of the family home and primary custody of the children. There was so much that was going on around the time of their divorce. For instance, US Weekly had broken the news in May of 2009 that John was allegedly having an affair with a third-grade school teacher, but he denied that he was having an affair at all. The teacher was named Deanna Hummel, and her brother had come out and told US that this isn't healthy for her, but she is refusing to help herself, so here I am trying to help her myself. I hope this clears the air. At the time, John admitted that he showed poor judgment, but he denied that he had an affair with her. Now, amid this scandal was when Kate filed for divorce, so it kind of led people to believe that it really did happen and that he really did cheat on her. In October 2009, John told CNN's Larry King that he had an epiphany that he didn't want his children on TLC anymore after the reality series was renamed Kate Plus 8. The network filed a breach of contract suit against John in October 2009. He filed a countersuit alleging that TLC violated Pennsylvania's child labor laws. Then they reached a settlement in February of 2010. Months after their divorce was finalized, John's lawyer told TMZ that he planned to file an emergency petition for primary custody after Kate Gosselin joined the cast of Dancing with the Stars. The lawyer told the outlet that Kate was an absentee mom. They continued to make headlines for numerous reasons, one of them being that John allegedly hacked into her computer and phone to get personal information about her for a tell-all book that was written by his friend titled Kate Gosselin, How She Fooled the World. And then according to USA Today, Amazon and other large distributors stopped selling the book amid the scandal, and then the suit was dropped in November of 2013. Then in 2016, John claimed that he hadn't seen all 8 of his kids together in 3 years. Most of the time I get 4. I haven't seen all my kids together in about 3 years. I only get what I get. He told Steve Harvey this in January of 2016. And then months later, he told Entertainment Tonight that the twin daughters, Maddie and Kara, stopped coming to his home when they turned 12 or 13. This is where we get into stuff with Colin and where it gets really sad. So apparently Kate Gosselin had sent Colin away to a facility.
I was in two different institutions. Scary place. I was actually 12 when I got admitted there, and then it was like I spent my 13th and 14th birthday there.
Why were you there? Because your dad said you shouldn't have been there.
You know, I came to the conclusion that everybody has their own agenda. You know, my mom had her own agenda. I don't know exactly what that was, but my agenda was to make it out on top of that tough spot.
At the time, Kate said Colin's institutionalization was due to, quote, special needs.
She alleged that he was being sent there because he was special needs and that he had behavioral issues that he was being treated for.
Your mom said Colin has special needs. There's a fairly fluid diagnosis of what those needs are. This has been a struggle we've had for a very long time, and it's one I've dealt with on my own. I felt very alone in this. By the same token, it's not something that has only impacted me or him. Our entire family has been impacted.
It's unfortunate that that's how my mom, you know, phrased me as a person. I don't see those things, and I don't think anybody else sees those things, but if that's how she sees me, then, you know, that's her point of view, and I hope that if we met again one day, she would understand that, you know, it's not the case.
But while he was there, he wrote a letter to his dad with a crayon, basically begging for his dad to help him get out of this facility.
You wrote a note to your dad. As a matter of fact, you might have even written it in crayon, and you asked him for help to get you out of that place.
Right. I was in a dark place mentally. I think being in a place like that does more damage than it helps you. So I was hopeless.
Following Colin's release from the inpatient program for children with special needs, John filed for full custody of Colin.
Kate had zip-tied your son to a chair in order to prevent him from being wild. Your response to that claim?
It's true. That is his words to a therapist that had to submit a report in court.
Now, they were both supposed to appear in court over the custody of Colin, but Kate and her legal team didn't show up, so it was just given to John. Like, what mother doesn't show up to get custody of her own child? Can somebody please explain that to me? That is just disgusting. And at this time, his sister, Hannah, also moved in with John.
How did you choose to live with your father?
I've always been closer to my dad. I just feel like there was unfair treatment in my mom's house.
And when you say unfair, do you mean unfair towards your brother Colin?
Yeah, my brother Colin did kind of take, you know, the front of it.
Now, the weird thing about it is that now he has full custody of the two of them, but not only does John not communicate or have a civil relationship with Kate for the children, but Hannah and Colin have no relationship with their other siblings. So the other 4 of the sextuplets and the twins are still living with Kate and not communicating with their dad or their other siblings at all. When Colin did this interview, he's very well spoken. He seems so sweet. I can tell he's brokenhearted in his eyes. I feel terrible for this child and what he went through.
You know, I figured out how to write to my dad, and that was kind of one thing that kind of helped me mentally figure out that there was a way out of there, and you know, a second chance, you know, redemption, if you would. So it gave me hope in my future, for sure.
And, you know, having seen him as a kid on the show and then seeing him in this interview, I actually got emotional watching it. And especially when he was talking about missing his siblings and that he would like to have a relationship with them. I don't know how things have to get so broken in your family that even the siblings are split. And all I can hope for this family is that the kids will form a relationship with each other again. The parents need to step away when it comes to what they're probably saying in front of the kids. I cannot confirm that they're doing this, obviously, but I feel like they're probably getting the children involved in something that they didn't need to be involved in from the very beginning, because there is no reason why all of those kids do not have a relationship. John basically said that they have tried to co-parent and they just cannot make it work.
We've exhausted all opportunities to co-parent. Like, it's just never gonna happen due to personality disorders and everything else. We just have different aspects on how we want to parent. And moving forward, you know, my twins are 19 years old now, and my sextuplets are almost 16. So we're moving down the path of, you know, 2 more years, we're gonna have all adults.
What is the personality issue? Whose is it? Is it, I mean, is it you? Is it Kate? What's the problem?
Well, I think it's both of us, but I think she has a narcissistic personality disorder.
Narcissistic?
Yep. I think she tends to think more on her level, selfishly instead of for others. I think I tend to think sometimes more for others than for myself.
Like, whatever they went through with each other does not have to fall back on these kids that had nothing to do with it. And with Colin coming out and speaking, it's the first time that we're seeing one of the children say something about it, and it's incredibly heartbreaking. And one thing I want to mention too is he said that he believes that maybe their family would still be together if the show didn't air. I wanted to bring this up because I talk about family channels and stuff a lot. Will this affect their children later on down the road whenever they're old enough to talk about how being on the internet affected them or affected their home life or family life? This is an example of that, because back then reality TV was so new that nobody knew how it would affect these kids as they got older. This is probably what we're going to see happen later on in the future with children of social media moms blasted all over the internet, or people who were just constantly vlogging their family life. I think when those kids become adults, I think we're going to start seeing a lot of this, where a lot of these kids speak out about being on the internet and how it affected them and how it affected their family, just like Colin is with being on reality TV. I also wanted to make note of this as well, is that there was some allegations that Colin had made against John as well. And in this interview, he did say that him and his dad do fight when he was asked about their relationship. So I found it strange that that was the only thing that he had mentioned. So it was in September of 2020, John was accused of physically abusing Colin, who lived with him since 2018. The teenager wrote in a since deleted Instagram post that his dad was a liar and that he beat him up and thought nothing of it, punched him in the face, gave him a swollen nose, and that he started bleeding, and that he continued to kick him in the ribs after he was on the floor, and that he is a liar. And then Kate told People at the time that she doesn't want her children around her ex-husband, and that she doesn't want to hear any excuses from anyone, not his father, local law enforcement, court personnel. She said in 2020 that John was a violent and abusive person, and if this doesn't qualify as assault, then she doesn't know what does. John told Entertainment Tonight that the message is for you to stop. Unless you want to have any ounce of any relationship with your children in the future, you're ruining that. It's not about me. It's not about how they have to live their life by you making false accusations about things that never occurred.
I have to take like parenting therapy to understand where he's coming from. The hardest part is when there's an incident or something happens, and remember, it's not about you or something against you. It's the trauma and what happened.
John flat out denies hurting his son.
There is just a lot going on with this family. I don't know what went on behind the scenes, what was going on where the cameras weren't there, but I'm always inclined to believe children. And I think that it's clear that these kids have been involved in things that they don't need to be involved with. I don't know what John was doing that wasn't filmed by the cameras. There were definitely things that Kate was doing that was filmed. I feel bad for the kids, to be honest with you. It's just a sad situation. I wish that they would be able to mend their relationship. I think that they're at an age now where they absolutely could have a relationship that didn't have to involve their parents at all. And I hope that they, you know, find ways to do that. Whatever's going on behind the scenes with their families, I just wish them well in their future. It's just so sad to see something like this. Like, time is so weird. I remember back when I used to watch this show and it was just, I didn't think anything about reality TV or how it would be for kids to be filmed and have their lives on TV because I was just a kid myself. I didn't think it was strange at all. Let me know what you guys are thinking in the comments down below. If you guys like this video, give it a thumbs up and make sure you subscribe so you can see more videos from me, and I'll be seeing you guys in my next video. If you guys would like to help support me in this channel, it would mean a lot to me if you guys joined my members content. I post extra videos over there. Or if you guys would like to go to my second channel and get a little bit of extra content from me, that would also be greatly appreciated. Both of those links will be in the description down below.